Hello, this is Devin from Whiskey, Wine, and Wood. We're excited to announce a new change to a lot of our products, including our deluxe pool cue racks, our ball holders, cone chuck holders, and our floating shelves. Basically anything that's been made with a barrel lid that is more of a floating type shelf. We listened, I did a lot of testing, and we came up with a much better way to actually hang these so that they're actually straight, they're level themselves, and it takes out a lot of the frustration out of the whole process. So things that you're going to need for hanging these new hangers up is a ruler or a tape measure. I prefer a ruler or a yardstick. You're going to need a level, which is very helpful, pencil, Phillips screwdriver. You'll also need 2 of our new brackets, which we will send with the product. You will need 4 of our drywall hangers and screw sets. Those are also included with every order. You could also need potentially a drill. It just makes things a little bit easier, but it's not necessary. And a hammer can also be helpful to actually hammering these guys into the wall a little bit. Now, I'll walk you guys through just the installation a little bit first on these guys. So if you see these hangers, there are 2 screws on the back. There is a long side here at the bottom and a short side. These guys will actually go into the product and set underneath of it. The lid will actually sit on top of this, leveling it out, making it a lot more stable, and you won't have all the issues trying to get this in as easily, and it makes it very quickly to make it removable if you need to move it for some reason. So on the back of each one of our products, you'll see now 2 new holes that are being put in. There are also some rubber feet, which I'll talk about a little bit later here, but on each one of our items that we send you, we will also send you on the back here listed what the distance is between these 2 holes. That way you don't have to measure, it's already done for you. So I'm going to pull this a little closer. You can see I've already put some holes here in the wall. I'm going to walk you through how to actually install these guys. Move this just a little bit more. So the best way to do this is to take your ruler out, measure the distance that we give you between the 2 pieces. This bottom piece is actually for the top of the pool cue rack. It's set at 9.5 inches, so you measure 9.5 inches and mark there in the middle. Then between what you're going to want to do is then place your bracket here, again, long side down for extra stability. Line that up with the middle of that spot. And then you can put your 2 holes there. You'll want to make sure that both using your level, that both of these 2 are level against each other, so you might have to adjust up and down. So I would suggest actually putting this, marking the distance here between the 2, putting the level across, and then making this nice X here, and then putting these up and figuring out the center. So you want to make sure that your hole here and here is dead center in these 2 little spots, because you can see they're a little bit wider than screws, so that gives you some wiggle room back and forth. So I've already installed these, but I'm going to put them back in just so I can show you how easy it is. Once the drywall anchors are in, you just screw them back in. I should say another thing that you might want to check when you're doing this is to make sure you're not going into a stud with these drywall anchors, because they will shear and you'll be frustrated. So always check to make sure that there's no stud where you're going to put your screws. If there is a stud where you're going to put your screws, that's fine. Just don't use the drywall anchor. So I'm going to screw these guys in. And when you put these guys in on your first attempt, you're going to want to leave them just a little bit loose. So I'm just going to unhook these just a little bit. Leave them just a little bit loose so they can wobble back and forth. So I'm going to zoom back out here just a little bit so you can see this whole setup. So what you'll want to do is take these guys, line them up with the holes, and slide them in. Now, as I spoke before, there's these little rubber feet underneath it here. These are anti-slip, so they won't slip in and out. So you might have to pull up on this just a little bit. You go with your fingers just to slide it in, and you should expect some resistance. So you can see there, this is good and level. It's in. So I'm going to pull this right back out, and then just tighten the screws. Put it back in, and we're done. See, these guys do not pull out at all. They don't pull down at all. So if you look here, You can kind of see up underneath. These are sticking out just a little bit, but they're in between all of the pull cue rack holes. Not going to hit anything. And then for our top piece, this one's already set as well. Obviously, they won't be this close together. I'm just kind of doing this as a demonstration. These guys slide right in. Again, they don't really move once they're actually in. And for a lot of these, the anti-slip is really not as necessary as you would think, because once there's a little bit of weight on this, these guys don't really come out, but we added these non-stick stick pads in for good measure. So these are really good and tight once they're underweight, and this pull cue rack one for the top piece, it won't slide out as you pull the cues in and out. So that's our new racks. We're really excited for this. It did increase our cost just a little bit, but we wanted to make sure that we made sure that the quality of our systems were what we really want, and to alleviate any issues and headaches for you. So thank you.